What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. Today we're going to break down, we're going to preview the Houston Texans 2020 NFL schedule, because there's a lot of different stuff to talk about, a lot of different stuff to unpack, because there's some points I've heard some people make. There's also some points that I had yet to hear people make that I want to bring up in this video. So there's a lot of different stuff to unpack. There's a lot of stuff that jump out to you when you look at the Texans schedule. And the first thing to jump out, you already know what it is the season opener. Week 1, Thursday Night Football. Open off, kick off the whole NFL season at Arrowhead versus the Super Bowl champions, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I want all the smoke. Bring me all the smoke. I'm here for it right now. Something I've been wanting. I've been wanting this game right here. I've been wanting the Texans to finally kick off the NFL season. You know, I would prefer them to be the Super Bowl champions and kick off the NFL season, but whatever. But now we're on the stage, and to be honest, the NFL had no choice, because if you look at the Chiefs' home games, there was really nobody else. Like, maybe you could have spent the Denver Broncos because, you know, the divisional rivalry, and they did get some weapons by getting Judy and KJ Holloman, and that could have been exciting, but at the end of the day, it still would have been Patrick Mahomes versus Drew Lock. This is Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes, part 3. They faced in Week 6 last year. Deshaun got the dub. They faced in the division round of the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes got the dub on the way to win the Super Bowl. So this will be the third matchup, Week 1. Yes, bring it here. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, drafted in the same draft class. Patrick Mahomes from the state of Texas. Deshaun now plays in the state of Texas. Yes, bring me all the smoke. I'm here for it. And like I said, the NFL's future stars. Well, right now stars, because Patrick Mahomes is no longer future. He's a Super Bowl champion and the league MVP. And Deshaun is ascending himself. This is the marquee matchup that you kick off the NFL season with, because this is something that you can potentially spin into a future rivalry. Same draft class, all that good stuff. Yes, I'm here for all the smoke. I'm glad that the NFL got it right, but like I said, they had no choice. Now, the second thing that jumps off to the schedule is that after Week 1 on Thursday Night Football, the Texans have no more primetime games. None. No more primetime games. They do play on Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions, but that's not a primetime game because they play in the morning. They don't play. There's a primetime game late on that night, but there's no primetime game. And that right there shows me this, that Bill O'Brien has ruined the marketability of the Houston Texans, and most importantly, Deshaun Watson. Because I was talking to a Titans fan, he was like, man, that's kind of crazy because y'all play y'all team and y'all have a quarterback. And not only do we have a quarterback, we have a marquee quarterback. Because, you know, back in 2012, the Texans were a playoff team. And we had a quarterback. Matt Shaw did decent things in the years. He led the league in passing, yards before, a Pro Bowl MVP, things like that. But he wasn't a marquee quarterback. You don't watch football and watch a game to see Matt Shaw. You watch games to see Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is a marquee guy. The marquee quarterbacks in the NFL: Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, and Deshaun Watson. Those are the marquee quarterbacks that you put on. Oh, they playing? I want to watch them. You don't have to be a fan of either team, the Texans or the team they playing, but I want to watch this game because I want to see number 4. I want to see what number 4 does. He's a marquee guy. He's a draw himself. This is what you pay. You pay to watch him play. And you have no primetime games outside of the season opener. And like I just said, it was really by default because Kansas City home schedule is not all that good. They had no choice but to do that. And it just points out that Bill O'Brien has really ruined this marquee. Bad enough that he plays for the he's really ruined the marquee value of Deshaun Watson. Like, he's robbing. Deshaun Watson always had big moments on primetime. The game against the Bengals, the 50-yard touchdown. Game against Kansas City his rookie year. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. The play against Dallas, even though I know Hop was the one doing the spin move, but Deshaun was the one who threw the football to him. The game against Miami on Thursday night, more touchdowns and incompletions. The touchdown run against the Titans. The big plays against the Saints last year. The big plays against the Colts on Thursday night. The way he read and ate up the whole Patriots defense on Sunday night. The play he made in the playoff game, we bouncing around the Bills. Like when you put him on prime time, he is a killer. He makes plays. And you're robbing the NFL and the fans of seeing that on a marquee stage. Now, and also, you have marquee matchups because since you have a marquee quarterback, when all you need when he's in the game, he's part of the marquee. You have Deshaun versus Patrick Mahomes. Okay, that's a Thursday night season opener. Deshaun versus Lamar Jackson. That's a primetime matchup. Deshaun Watson versus Aaron Rodgers. That's a primetime matchup. Those are games that's happening this year. Even Deshaun Watson versus Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Remember, Cleveland passed on Deshaun with the first pick, traded the 12th pick to end up being Deshaun Watson to the Texans, then backdoored and drafted the quarterback #1 overall in Baker Mayfield, no matter what you think about Baker Mayfield. And also the Cleveland Browns themselves have talent. And I actually think that game has one of the best chances of getting flexed. Because, if I'm not mistaken, that Sunday night game of that week is the Ravens and the Patriots. And if the Patriots are on the whole Trevor Lawrence train, that game might get flexed. Because I think Cleveland's actually going to be a decent football team because they have a lot of talent. Those are times that you could put. Those are marquee matchups you can spin. You can even spin Deshaun Watson versus Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago Bears. Especially what's going on now with the whole tweeting back and forth that he's saying the Bears never talked to him. Like, these are things that you could spin to make marquee matchups out of. But yet the NFL chose not to do that. And I think it's because of Bill O'Brien. That brings me to my next point. The next thing that jumps out to me. There's something I have not yet heard people talk about. I think the NFL schedule makers are trying to get Bill O'Brien fired. Like, I know we as fans been clamoring for it, that everybody out here on the sauce and everybody out here on YouTube and hey, we want to get rid of Bill O'Brien. Like I said, shout out to everybody out there on the sauce. But I really think that the NFL schedule makers are trying to get rid of Bill O'Brien, trying to cost him his job. Let's talk about the first 7 games. Because the first 7 games of the season is Week 1, September 10th, Thursday Night Football at Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 2, September 20th, at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. Week 3, September 27th, on the road versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 4, October 4th, at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. Week 5, October 11th, at home versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 6, October 18th, at home versus the Tennessee Titans. Away at Tennessee versus the Tennessee Titans. Week 7, October 25th, at home versus the Green Bay Packers. And then they bye week. Those first 7 games, there's a strong possibility that the Texans end up being 1-6. Now, I don't think they're going to go 1-6, but we're going to just play this game. Because there's a possibility, because there's a real chance they could lose to Kansas City, lose to Baltimore, lose to Pittsburgh. Remember, Pittsburgh, without Ben Roethlisberger, without Juju, without James Conner, still with 8-8 for the majority of the season. Minnesota Vikings a playoff team, even though I know they lost Stephon Diggs, but they still a solid team, and also Kubiak's running that offense. Jacksonville, okay. Titans went to the AFC Championship game, and I think that A.J. Brown played extremely well and abused Bradley Roby in the one game that they did play week 15 last year. I think that could be problematic, especially for the secondary. And then week 7, Green Bay Packers. There's a real shot they could lose all them games, probably beat Jacksonville, and be 1-6. And if I don't care what nobody says, I don't care how we talk about, Bill O'Brien got pictures, Cal don't understand football. I don't think that there's no way that week 8 can get here. You and your bye week, you're 1-6. You have no primetime games, so you have a primetime quarterback, but no marquee games to show for it. You don't have a first or second round pick. So even if you have a bad season, you can't benefit because you don't have a first or second round pick. You got bad publicity because you traded DeAndre Hopkins. You getting bad publicity because you became everybody's favorite punching bag on ESPN. Like you getting talked about multiple times a week on First Take. Every time you turn on First Take, Stephen A. Smith is talking about you multiple times a week, talking about how bad the Texans are looking because of Bill O'Brien. And also, they're going to be in salary cap situation. It's not going to be something of note. And you have to pay Deshaun Watson, probably have to pay Will Fuller, have to pay Zach Cunningham, and also Justin Reed's going to be coming up as well. That right there, I think all those things added up is going to make Cal look in the mirror and be like, we got to do something. We got to stop this bleeding. Because it's one thing to not really know the ins and outs of football and listen to somebody telling you and you agreeing because, oh, we know we're 9-7, we're in the playoffs, we're winning the division, we're still winning the AFC South. Yeah, like you can spin that. But when you 1-6, you can't spin that because you don't even have a first. Normally you could be like, okay, we got a first round pick coming, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get this. You don't even have that no more. It's gonna be hard to sell that, I think, to Cal. And I don't care how dumb you could be, how lacking of football knowledge you can be, how much you think of Cal. I think that that's something that he can't ignore. And teams like to get rid of their head coaches during bye weeks because it's enough time for them to bring in the interim, to get the team, to galvanize the troops. And who knows, the Texans could go on a run afterwards to at least salvage the season and get to that seventh playoff seed, and at least somewhat salvage the season if they make the right move at the right time. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen because I don't think the Texans are going to go 1-6, but I'm just saying there's a possibility because they've put in all the Texans' tough games right there in the beginning. Like, hey, you're going to go against you're going to get Patrick Mahomes, then back door, you're going to go against Lamar Jackson, then back door, you're going to go against Ben Roethlisberger, then you're going to get a playoff team against Minnesota. I'm going to give you a little break against Jacksonville, then you got to go against the AFC team, the team that went to the AFC Championship game, then you got Aaron Rodgers, who went to an NFC Championship game. So think about this. In your first 7 games, you're playing against the Super Bowl champions, league MVP, a team that went to the AFC Championship game, and a team that went to the NFC Championship game. So you're playing 3 of the teams that competed in the championship game, conference championship game, the team that won the Super Bowl, another team who had the number 1 seed and got the league MVP. Then you got another team who barely missed the playoffs without their main players. And then you got Jacksonville Jaguars. And then you also have a team in Minnesota who went to the playoffs and won the playoff game themselves. That's how tough that first 7 games is. Now, I think the Texans, because I think Deshaun's going to have a monster season this year, and I'm going to talk about that in another video. But I think the Texans will end up being probably 4-3 in that first 7, because I think the magic of Deshaun's going to be able to get some of those wins out. Maybe not the wins you want, maybe not the wins you think. But I did say they're going to beat Kansas City. Like that's something that I'm hanging on to that. They're going to beat Kansas City. That's the reason why I want week 1. That's the exact reason I said the Texans kick off the season versus Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. They're going to win that thing. And I believe that. They're going to win that thing. I know what y'all thinking. Y'all might think I'm crazy. But I don't care. They're going to win that thing. Watch. Y'all going to play this video back. Like, man, Spitz was right. They're going to win that thing. Now, after week 8, like I said, it's the bye week. They come off the bye week. Week 9, November 8th at Jacksonville Jaguars. Week 10, November 15th at Cleveland. Like I said, I have a strong possibility that game can get flexed. Week 11, November 22nd, home against New England. Then a quick turnaround because week 12, November 26th, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day versus Detroit Lions at Detroit. Week 13, December 6th, they host the Indianapolis Colts. Week 14, December 13th, they go to Chicago. Week 15, this game is to be determined. It could either be Saturday, December 19th, or it could be Sunday, December 20th at Indianapolis. That's another game that could be flexed. Kind of like they did the same thing with the Jets game 2 years ago, and they also did the same thing with Tampa Bay last year. More than likely, it's going to be a Saturday game, but they don't have a time yet, so that could end up being a night game. Depending if the Colts have a good season and the Texans have a good season, they can make that the Saturday night game, which would be interesting. Would be good. Week 16, December 27th, right after Christmas, home against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then Week 17, January 3rd, hosting the Tennessee Titans, which I believe this game right here more than likely will be the Sunday night game because I think it's going to be the game for the division. I think both teams will be maybe one of them is in the playoffs and one is not. One needs the division to get into the playoffs, and the other one will clinch the division win. Clinch a playoff victory. A playoff spot. But I think that game right there is going to be the deciding factor to win the division. And I think the Texans coming off the bye week, like I said, I think they're going to go 4-3 the first 7. And then the last 9, I think they're gonna go 7-2, end up being 11-5. The reason why is because I really believe that Deshaun's going to have a strong year. And like I said, I'm going to talk about that in my next video, why I believe that. Like, because it's a lot of things I need to talk about, and I don't have enough time in this video. But all in all, like I say, the schedule, at first when I seen it, I was upset because I'm like, why are you depriving Deshaun Watson from primetime games? Like, he doesn't even host a primetime game. The one primetime game that you give him is going to be at Arrowhead. And unless that last game of the year is for the AFC Championship game, he will not host a primetime game none this year. Because the 2 games I think has the most opportunity to be flexed, like I say, the Cleveland Brown game, because I think that will be getting flexed. That's at Cleveland. The Saturday, the game that more likely was going to be on Saturday, that could end up being a Saturday night game, that's at Indy. And like I said, week 1 is at Arrowhead. So you have a guy who is top talented. He's in elite. He's ascending. He's almost on the verge of being the elite. He's one of the marquee guys, one of the guys that you pay to watch. He only gets 1 primetime game. And it's not even at home. And then the other game that people want to call primetime, it's not primetime because you're playing 11 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving Day, is at Detroit. It's still not at home. So, which I think is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. I like that game. It's probably outside the Kansas City game. The game I probably like the most is to play on Thanksgiving. I like the last time that we played on Thanksgiving. That was a fun time. That was a fun Thanksgiving to sit back and watch football with my family, eating turkey and stuff like that, and watching my team play. And it was a good game. Overtime, Andre Johnson played amazing in that game versus Detroit Lions. And I think Deshaun, Thanksgiving, is going to show his. I think he's going to clown. I think he's going to clown. I think we're going to be in for a good game for Texan fans. But it's just very weird to see that you have a marquee. Like, we had plenty of times in the Matt Schaub era, 4 to 5 primetime games. We had Brock Osweiler. And we had 4 primetime games? Sunday night against, no, wait. We had Thursday night against the Patriots where we lost. You had the Sunday night game against the Colts that you won. Monday night against the Broncos, you lost. Monday night against the Raiders, that was the laser tag game. And then the Christmas Eve game versus Cincinnati. They had 5 primetime games with Brock Osweiler. 5 primetime games. Then the following year, when we drafted Deshaun Watson, remember the schedule came out before we drafted Deshaun Watson. So at this time, the schedule makers thought that Tom Savage started off the season as the quarterback. They thought that Tom Savage was going to be your quarterback all year because the Texans didn't draft Deshaun Watson yet. The schedule had a Thursday night against Cincinnati, Sunday night hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, and then Monday night versus the versus the Baltimore Ravens, and then Christmas Day against Pittsburgh. But Deshaun Watson can't get no primetime games, only 1 and none hosting? Come on, man. Think about that. When has a quarterback on the verge of being an elite quarterback, a guy that you pay to watch, not get primetime games? When you have a joke of a head coach, and it's also the same guy being the general manager. And like I said, if the Texans have a horrible start, like how they did 2 years ago, starting off 0-3, how they did a couple years ago, starting off 2-5. This is different. This ain't the same situation when they was 2-5. That was Bill O'Brien's second year, and you had Brian Hoyer / Ryan Mallett going back and forth. They had primetime games. They had Monday night game then. But you have Deshaun Watson, and you can't get primetime. So if they start off bad, I think it's a wrap. And I think that's what they're doing. They did not give us a primetime game on purpose. Like I said, they had no choice. They was taken out of their hands with the whole Kansas City game because Kansas City, they didn't have nobody to give Kansas City to start the season off with. I think they did that on purpose. Just like I think they put them first 7 games out there on purpose to make a point to be like, if they don't want to follow Bill O'Brien, we gonna force their hand because we gonna make them put up a shut up because either they gonna come out of this and be a team on the verge of being elite and they got an easy schedule the rest of the way coming off they bye, or they gonna get demolished that first week. I mean, they're gonna get demolished that first half of the season, and no primetime games. They're gonna be out of sight, out of mind, with a star quarterback, mind you, and you have no choice at all, but to get rid of their head coach because he's gonna devalue the entire team. He's basically, you are no longer marketable. We can't market you. We can't. You have a star quarterback, and we can't market you. You got J.J. Watt. We can't market you. You have a quarterback, back-to-back Pro Bowler. We can't market you. The most marketable position in all of sports, quarterback. And you have a dynamic one. Being dynamic since college. Being elite since college. A national championship. People know who he is. He ain't just no regular person playing quarterback. People know who Deshaun Watson is. And he's gotten to the NFL and has made magical moment happen after moment after moment. Playoff game moments. Primetime moments. But yeah, we're not going to put you on primetime. We proving a point. You're not ready. Not because your team is not ready. Because the way your organization is being structured is not ready. And if you want to sit at the big boy table, you got to make big boy moves. You got to prove it. So either you're going to prove it on the field, or you're going to find somebody who can help you prove it on the field. And that's what I think is going to happen. But, like I said, I think the Texans are actually going to have a decent season. Like I said, I think Deshaun Watson is actually going to clank. I think this right here is actually going to fuel Deshaun Watson as well. And I expect some big things. Like I said, I got a video coming. I'm explaining what I mean about why I think Deshaun Watson is going to have a big season. So y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe, comment below, click this bell, get more videos. I'll holla.